everyone's like, oh yeah, you eat on a calabash. I'm like, don't ever curse at me, sir. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you just told me or asked me, but please speak English when you're speaking to me, referring to me, sir. No, and when I found out what it was, I was like, oh, I thought it was like the husk of a, you know what I mean, like a coconut, but it's like way other process because you have to know which ones to pick.
Yes.
You know which one. You know what it is?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't.
So it's calabash, which is like, I mean, when I experienced it, it was literally like I got served food out of it, but what he's describing, like you could do anything out of it, like roll up, you could drink, fucking whatever, and it's essentially just like, you know, I've seen people use it as ashtrays.
You know what I was thinking too? Is a chalice calabash or that's coconut?
Sure, like,
it could be calabash, you know.
Under the assumption that same family, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe even it could be just a calabash.
Yeah,
I mean, we just don't know. I mean,
or it could be a coconut as well. I gotta figure that out when I talk. I'm gonna talk to some people in Jamaica.
Yeah, no, that's where I experienced it in Jamaica. And
yeah,
I don't know if there's if it's different in with other West Indian countries or whatever, but yeah.
I swear we have that in the Philippines as well. I wouldn't pass it because I remember growing up with that stuff. My parents used to gamble with, like they would just have that as bowl, put your quarters or whatever when they're playing cards.
Well, that's interesting.
So that's
Are we on right now? Oh, we're good. We're recording.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Welcome to HisBrother Podcast. You know how we do. We just like roll right into it. We got, you know, Billist the illest always on the boards and, you know, behind the scenes things. We're just glad to be back. And I just want to congratulate him on this new reno of this beautiful palace that we're in right now. And you'll see a lot more of it in, you know, clips and some videos that we'll be taking in this wonderful space and creating new energies in here. So I'm extremely grateful, super happy, crazy amped. To the left of me usually is Rosos, just in case you didn't know Sos. You know, the PEBZ. She's bringing him back. You know, the man's been pretty busy. He's been all around the world shooting photography. You know, and you know, back and forth, and just holding it down in the basketball fields of all aspects of 10 and 20 scoring aspects, and then we have our world traveler, FILO P, Franco, the Banco. Just got back from Trinidad, you know, and we'll have some stories about that.
Oh gosh.
But we cannot forget also our brother in arms, who's also across the way, across the ponds in Edmonton, holding it down for his musical that he's in, called Prison Dancer. Shout out to Romeo Candido, and all the staff and wonderful cast that's creating that magic over there in the West, or more West, I should say. So big congrats to that, and it's a Filipino force to be reckoned with, and overall just rounded out just some of the best talents in the world, in Canada. So hats off to them and our brother Norm, who will be back in a couple weeks. But, you know, for now, we're just holding it down for him. And hopefully he'll have a couple, or actually a lot of stories to tell as soon as he joins us again. But yeah, this is his brother. We're back. It's been about 7 years. So, you know, we're trying to make sure we regroup and talk about some things. A lot of things have happened. First off, we want to talk about AC units, you know, and how grateful we are to have just different AC units in certain situations. You know, like not everybody has central air, or in some certain countries we noticed there's a certain AC unit that you notice or you'll catch certain rooms and things like that. And right now we're just grateful to have that in our lives as well. So, yeah, moving forward, shout out to Booster Juice. You know, we can't show you that we drink it, but I definitely wanted to just say thank you, just because I feel like it's just the extra boost of energy that we needed for today. And yeah, man, you know, we're rolling into some better weather here. Canada's Always a roll of the dice when it comes to weather, so you never really know what you're gonna get. But right now, we're dealing with some decent, in Celsius, it's in the 20s, and in Fahrenheit, we're dealing with some like 60-degree days and things like that. But yeah, man, we're just here and trying to get more reacquainted, get back on the mic. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, PEBZ is wearing a Scarborough. What is it? Shooting Stars? Scarborough Shooting Stars, right? Is that the
Shout out Scarborough Shooting Stars.
Scarborough
Man.
Shooting Stars hat at the moment? I don't know if you noticed.
What a fun season we had.
It's a gray under brim. It's super clean. I mean, Oh, J. Cole was on the team, by the way. By the way,
Dreamville.
was he like a cool guy to be around, or was
Yeah,
he?
I didn't really get to talk to him.
Is he a
like
piece
that,
of
but-
shit or
no?
no?
No,
Or-
no.
okay,
he's,
all right.
He's good. He's
Just kidding. All the referencing I've ever heard or seen has always been sorry. It's always been good. About J. Cole, and I actually saw J. Cole for $1 at his Dollar and Dream tour.
Wasn't it near your crib? It was near your crib.
It was
right?
no, this was in Florida.
Oh, in Florida.
Yeah, this is back in Florida, and he did it Dollar and a Dream tour. And let me tell you something, this guy never changed, man. He's always been that same hungry. It's just less dreads and facial hair when I saw him, and I think he was Jermaine then. Now he's J. Cole, but back then it was definitely a younger J. Cole. But a lot of his content was super relative, and I feel like it just related to a lot of stuff that, like, at that time, his audience happened to be, that college kid that, that was going through that same struggle or or the quintessential things that college kids go through. So I think that was just the gravitational pull that he had, and it was good that his audience is growing with him. But I will say this: I saw Block Party the other day, Dave Chappelle, and every time I need like a reset, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I make a big fat ass plate of fucking spaghetti, al dente. By the way, and I sit in front and I watch Dave Chappelle Block Party,
Yo, J. Cole was right
and J.
there.
Cole was right in the front,
like third row.
and you see him; he's rapping all
He
the
was
lyrics,
just there,
No
man.
way.
and he's just fucking. Yeah, and it,
Yo,
just to get by, just to get by.
Yo, remember
just-
that?
You
remember
see
that-
him, his heart's pounding out of his chest. Like he's ready to go, dog.
Yo, that one time when they were asking someone to go on stage
Mm.
to spit a verse or whatever, this man's hand was up. They didn't choose him.
Oh, I know. And it's crazy because like
How timing is so different.
it's
right?
crazy because he's out there and he's booty face Johnson. He's literally no beard, no nothing. Straight booty face Johnson out there in third row. Him and his homeboy. You could tell his homeboy's hype too. His homeboy might even be a rapper too. I just don't know.
Mm.
But yeah, he's in like you said, the third row. Pouring rain. They're in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and yeah, man, like you
that was
just-
a vibe, man. That was a vibe. That block party.
Well, it was almost. I feel like some people might not agree, but like I feel like it was at a time when
Yeah.
Kanye was almost forcing his peers around him to just like be that, like an extra artist, because Kanye was always that extra guy, like he'd go out there, he wouldn't wear one Jesus piece, he would wear two,
Yeah.
and then he'd have like the polo cardigans, and motherfuckers wasn't dressing like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then most people are like, okay, no, we might start taking this, like the only other person I know was what's his name from Atlanta, but there's a whole nother. See, that's why I like polo, because polo is just different everywhere.
Yeah.
And you could tell where you're from by the way they dress the polo. So like how like Kanye was dressing, that's very Chicago polo. The double R shit. Like the not wearing the stuff with the horses. He would just wear like that, like the big wools and shit like that. And then you got guys like who he was with T.I. He was signed under Young Dro.
Mm.
That guy's the king of the striped polo, the clearance polo. That's how we know. That's how we know you from the South, is when we see your polo and it's all striped. And we're like, oh, no, you buy your stuff at the clearance rack. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that's how we know you from the South. And we just knew you because only South guys bought that striped polo. It was just hard to buy the solid colors and stuff. That's more New York. And like Virginia, like, like you could kind of tell just where people did it like that. The other guy who bought striped polo, a shitload of it, was Big Boy from Outkast.
Outcast, yeah.
Yeah, he was just crazy with it. Yeah, man. Polo's like, fuck. It's definitely...
Yeah. Yo, back to J. Cole. I think J. Cole was bridged the gap between the 90s era of rap to like the new age. Cause he still keeps it real. He could go on any beat and rip it. You know? Like a new school beat, old school beat, R&B beat. And
Well, and then he produces his own stuff, or predominantly
Yeah.
most of his.
like so versatile, right? And when he was in Toronto, like he rolled alone. When he had no entourage when he stayed at the hotel he was staying at.
Bro, I
You know
caught
what I
him
mean?
by. Well, a bunch of us were on bikes, and we caught him by the what do you call it? CN Tower
Yeah.
on his bike.
Yeah,
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 people
yeah.
will see
The
him
man was
in
on
New
a
York.
fixie bike, dog.
Yeah,
Just
you can be in Manhattan and you'll just see him riding his bike. Lots of people take pictures and stuff just in their whip. And
yeah,
J. Cole's just doing something regular, probably
just chilling.
going to the store or something, just buying, riding his bike everywhere.
You might think he's just some Dutty Ross, like
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Just pulling up like, hey man, you know, I'm
No
from-
jewelry.
Yeah,
I'm from
you'll
North
see him like
Carolina,
that,
man.
but then, and then you'll also see him in his fucking black Lambo
Lambo.
truck, bro.
Lambo,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Don't
was
get it
right
twisted.
behind the Lambo truck going to Pan Am.
Oh fuck.
I'm like, who the fuck is this? And this Lambo truck, I pull up, it's fucking J. Cole. Guy comes out the truck like right before the game, like an hour before the game.
Oh,
He's one of the
fuck.
guys that were the first.
Oh,
like
this
the
is when he-
first guy is in the gym. He's one of the first mans in the gym, bro.
True story though. He asked Pebs for his autograph. He really did. He pulled him over and was like, "Well, you're Pebs? Oh yeah, I know you, dog. Yeah, you know, I want to sign you to Dreamville, but it ain't worth it for you. So you know what I'm saying? And it's true. You know, majors are independent or major. You know, it doesn't matter. You don't need that.
Shout out PEBZ, man. Yo. Your music. I mean, I told you, my daughter's your number one fan. Even till after, after you said bye to her at the party, she's like,
yeah.
Daddy, I met PEBZ. I'm like, yeah, man, that's Daddy's brethren.
That's funny, man.
Oh man.
Big up your music. It's always good to hear. You need to make more. I know. We'll talk
Guys,
about
it's
that
for
off
it's
camera.
for the kids, man.
Yeah,
For the youth.
that's what I said. I called him the next day. I said, "Yo, the stuff that we do now as adults, it's not for us no more. Our time is kind of past. You know, we can still grind, make money, make impact on this world. It's just now, how can we be better people for even if you don't have kids? How are you gonna do it for your nephew, nieces, friends, kids, all of that stuff? How we be better examples? So, it's beyond us." And that's why, little stuff that I do, a little background of what I do is the stuff like back in the Philippines, even the shelter down here in Toronto. We have one of the biggest youth shelters in all of Canada, I think. And they sleep about 150 kids. And bro, they go through everything. You name it. And me and my brethren, we just try to go there once a month and just donate gift cards and literally just lime with them and just talk and just see where their head's at, see where they're gonna go with life, So just that little one day out of the month and a little bit of our own, pocket money just to give them, that changed their life. And we're working with like 5 students. They're about 22, 23, and they have 2 more years until they get kicked out of that shelter. So that type of stuff is like, we got things to do in terms of like, we got to get a resume. We got to get them even a job, man. You need someone just to like clean or just work for us. We got people that could do stuff like that, But
And for people that aren't maybe as in tune or close to the West Indian culture,
I know what
Lime?
you're gonna bring. I knew it. You're gonna
Lime?
say lime. This guy. That's how you know this guy just got back from Trinidad. He
lime
said
means lamping, hanging out, fucking later on. I don't know, just being around people and just building.
vibing.
Like building, vibing, yeah. So I mean, because some people just don't know what lime means. They might have thought you were drinking.
Yo,
It was
that
like-
should be a caption.
it's like, yeah, we were just-
Translation.
We was liming. And like, oh shit, man, they was drinking.
Mm.
They was drinking that tequila. Oh man.
I'm pretty sure there was a bar in Scarborough called Lime, right? Billist? Lime?
Probably West Indian.
West Indian spot.
I'm pretty sure if there isn't a definitive name, Lime, that's what they just call it on the nickname. Like, yo, you heading to Lime? Yeah, man, I'm already at Lime, dog. Oh yeah, I'm already here. Oh yeah, I'm in the parking lot, liming. I'm in the parking lot liming.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what we do when you're down there.
Lime out. Yeah. No, and this is Trinidad. So was it easy getting over there, or was there any like complications, like as far as like were you were you the random search? You know what I mean? Like was it like all that
No,
drive?
not really. The reason is I went during Carnival, so a lot of everyone around the world goes there, right? During
Yeah,
these
yeah.
times. So I mean, they're not that strict, and I don't stand out as much as I do, I guess, in a North American country, or and it was easy. Even the like the vaccination and all that stuff, that's all dropped because that country was pretty strict during COVID.
No, 1,000. That's why there
Yeah.
wasn't. They
There's
skipped
no-
the carnival, right?
They,
Like
they
there wasn't.
skipped almost 2.
Yeah.
That's why I actually went. This was the actual comeback. Like this was the one where you should have.
And I think previous to that, like I don't think there's ever been a skipping of carnival. Like
Nah.
like they look forward to it. For those that don't know, carnival happens once a year, Trinidad and Tobago. Well, mainly Trinidad, right? On it's not in Tobago.
Now it is in October though.
Oh,
they changed.
okay.
Literally, this is gonna be the 2nd October coming up.
And yeah. So once a year, was it? So it's in February. This is February.
So it's about it changes every year, right? Based on the weeks. So it's probably like 2nd week or 3rd week of February.
Okay.
Brazil has a carnival. Jamaica has one, Barbados, but Trinidad and Brazil are probably the biggest ones in the world.
Okay, so I haven't been, but to my knowledge and from other people's referencing,
It's Caravana on
it closes
steroids.
like the whole country, like
Yeah, for a week.
for a week.
Caravana.
Yo, no one's working. It's Caravana on steroids. So you guys been to Caravana? Or at
Yeah.
least seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So each float, a float is basically a truck that has speakers and it's partying, and then you sign up for these bands. And over here in Toronto, you probably have maybe like 500 people per band.
Okay.
And each float usually has like 1 truck, 2 trucks. Yo, the float in in Trinidad, one of the floats, was it Tribe? I think it was Tribe. I kid you not, 6 trucks. The whole band took probably 35 to 40 minutes to cross. That's how many people there. Probably maybe like 6,000 for that one band. You know what I mean? So it's over here, like I said, it's probably 500 people.
What do they call it? Was it playing mass?
Playing mass. And yeah, I just embrace the culture. I'm not from Trinidad, I'm Filipino. But my brethrens and a lot of people I kick it with are from the Caribbean. So I felt at home, you know how when you went to Yard, you felt at home.
Sure.
When I go to
1,000%.
Philippines and Trinidad, I felt the same. And it's because I grew up with Caribbean people, and I think we all did, growing up in Toronto. So, yeah, big up Trinidad, fuck. And Tobago's nice. I went to Tobago. My other brethren bought a place there, so I waited until he came with his kids during March break. That's why I stayed so long, right? And then I said, let me just wait until he comes from Toronto to Tobago, and then I'll meet him in Tobago. Tobago is just literally opposite of Trinidad. Everything's just laid back. Everything closes at like 9 or 10. There's only like 2-3 bars there,
Okay.
in the main strip. But yeah, I suggest you guys go, but go with someone you know when you go to Trinidad or Jamaica, so you can really experience the local life.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how you even went in Laventil, bro.
Yeah. We'll talk about that after. Laventil's, it was a good time.
What about you, Bills? A lot of I know you're probably spending time reno here, and then what I mean, was it busy in the studio, like activity wise, like people coming to record or?
Honestly, for the last like say 2 months,
Mhm.
we've just been building this place. Like pretty much since
Okay.
January, I guess. So even like almost 3 to 4 months, we started building this shit because like I think it was like end of January we started, and then from there we've just been
Just boots on the
going
ground.
at that,
Yeah.
like we rebuilt everything. Like everything you see here, we had to rebuild everything. The other room, same thing. Rebuilt everything in there. So now we're like getting everything finished up. I think by the end of this month, everything that I need to get done will be done, and then it's just business as usual.
Sick. Yeah, man.
Congrats,
No,
man.
this is like I said in the beginning, you know, hats off just because this place is like, I wish you guys could, well, more and more when we do these videos and capture some of the moments on this podcast, you'll start to see the ins and outs of the studio. But man, yeah, I really wish like at one shot you could see it. But yeah, no, sporadically you'll start to see the magic, like I said, behind the walls in here, and just it's super dope. And I know that a lot of good energy and creations will have to start to really brew from here, like and ensue, just like they've been doing. But for sure, it's always good to just switch up the energy and like just move stuff around. And man, I'm just hyped to be in here. Like honestly, more or less speechless, But then I'm just glad that obviously we can get the band back together. I just know that like we were getting pretty busy individually, which is always good. So that way, that just makes things like real, like and the reality of things. But I also know that it also brings on stress and there's like the yin and the yang. And sometimes with that stuff, health isn't really at the forefront of what we're trying to like do or through our misguided, I don't know, paths. So, but for those that don't know, for the predominantly through the month of February, I was in the hospital. Ironically, at the top of February, I was looking to engage with my relationship at relocation. Shout out to relocation. Shout out Pope and boy Marcus over there. I was setting up a little Nike section and things like that, and for whatever reason, the weather that day just seemed to be a little colder than usual, and I was like, I had like the most severe migraine I've ever had in my life, And then that same night, I was like coughing blood. This is like almost Sunday night. Like I said, top of February, and then bleeding into almost the Wednesday. No pun intended. It got to a point where like, yeah, it was either shit or get off the pot. And thankfully, Chrissy, whom I live with, she was like, we need to go to the hospital and figure this out. And yeah, that morning I went and I was standing in front of the ER, and I was almost just a shell version of myself. I was basically just standing there, and I looked like Ray Liotta from Goodfellas, literally like just kind of swaying back and forth. And then they took my blood pressure, which was averaging between 200 and 210, and then my hemoglobin was like 60 and lower. And to give you perspective, like your an average blood pressure is I don't know, between 90 and 110, something like, it's not going to be too crazy. And then hemoglobins are like in the 80s, 90s, mine was like at 60. So I wasn't doing too well in that department or those departments. And at that point, my blood work came back and they said that I pretty much had kidney failure and borderline heart attack. And that's like just not even knowing, like that's just like, I mean, because I was working out and physically, visually, you couldn't tell that I had kidney failure. I physically looked okay, or maybe even more than that, maybe exceptional, like just because for my age and whatever, so the ratios don't really balance. So they were like, pretty much like, yeah, like we'll never know who has kidney failure or not. 1 out of 10 people walk around and they don't know. It's just you don't know until you get your blood work. But yeah, I was put in a situation where like it was like you know how they say fight or flight. It's and you know, and I'm just like, damn, like, dude, I could either really give up, just like right now, you know, just because like I'm at a point in my life where like I've done almost everything I've ever wanted, and it was like a higher being, whether it be God or whatever. I'm just more spiritual on things, less religious, but I'd say that the higher being was more or less like giving me an ultimatum, like, yo, like you could choose this next chapters in your life or whatever the next steps in your life to be or do I guess just like a heavier influence for good, or we can either you could either just like coast back and just be like, okay, well, it's been a good ride, you know what I mean? And then just kind of just drift in the backgrounds. And honestly, like growing up, I used to see guys that were I thought I would emulate. I would be like, oh man, you know, I want to be exactly like that guy, and then they'd slowly just drift and dissipate, you know, and like and then just become a regular guy, you know, and then I'd see other guys that were just like super exceptional and just like fucking take what they had and make the best of it, you know, and then really just take off, you know, and not be a superstar, or some did, but like some people would just use their I guess their influence for good. And to be quite honest, like yeah, I sat and I just fucking cried a lot, man. I never realized like someone could have so much power and then just be like, okay, well, you know, like, yeah, no, you were just you had 2 basketball runs and working out 6 days a week, and now you ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like now we're about to tell you, no, you can't even get on your fucking bike and ride your fucking bike, man. And that shit crushed me. That shit was like, yo, like you can't tell me I can't do shit, homeboy. I done built this life. I done fought for a lot of motherfuckers in this life, you know? And I just really wish that people would fight for me. And I didn't realize how much like vulnerability and love I was gonna I guess just like encounter, just cause like you know you come across and you make influence on people, you know, you really like build bridges with people, you know what I'm saying? And what you don't realize, like you know, like people showing up for you. When
Good, bro.
people showing up for you when you need it the most, you know?
But I think that's essentially what it is, John. You know how like same thing giving back, and I've been through a lot of shit in terms of like a lot of sickness and death in my family. So it's like you never get immune to that. So the minute I heard Pebs call me and Chrissy called me or messaged me, and I was like, yo, it's just real. You know what I mean? Right before it's crazy. Right before I boarded my plane, I called you. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, just head up. I didn't know fully what happened, you know. And even when I was in Trinidad, I called you. When I came back, I called you. And even we don't talk every day, but when I do, that's what you're talking about. So, and I feel like the people around you, the people around you, people around me, we have that. And that's why we're on this podcast straight up, because now the world could see this.
No, for sure. I just it's just crazy, bro. Like I don't you know, I don't really want to depend on nobody. You know, that's really what it comes down to, but at the end of the day though, it's just crazy that like I could be in the ER, like not even in the ER, but you know, in the hospital, and I could hear like the other nurses, you know, they're like, how many visitors does this guy have? My God, this guy, he's the visitor king. 2:30 in the morning. My God, there's people banging on the door in the ER asking, how do I get to the OLM wing? And I'm like, I'm sleeping. I'm like knocked out. You know, I'm on all the meds in the world. You know, but
Yo, by the way, this guy looked completely different in the hospital. Bro.
I look like this picture.
And how he did, yo,
I don't know if
how
y'all
he did.
see it, man. I look like this, bro. I was in there with the oxygen hooked up, and that's just how crazy shit got, man. Like literally. And the reason why I am wearing this shirt is to just build awareness and be an advocate and let people know it's okay to get your blood checked. It's all good. You know, maybe it's time to check your doctor or call your doctor and see what's going on. You know, I don't want to a lot of people are like, oh my God, that picture, it scares me. And I hope it kind of does.
Yeah.
Just so you could see the differential and the progress that can be made post this, just because like life ain't over, you know, like, and I feel like, okay, so this is the one thing I want to speak on. Just as much as like the hospital and all this, like the doctors, they want you to be good and whatever. They also want you're a dollar sign as well. You know, like it's also just a business just as much as it is a place for a curation. You know, for you to get good. They also have to just try to figure out how to keep you there. So one thing I learned in this whole thing of being in the hospital and stuff was like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of smiling faces and suggestive things as far as like how to get better and things, but there's also just like I'm watching people literally just deteriorate, and that's the saddest part in the world because, man, like no one really slept in there. Every 4 hours you're getting your vitals checked. So enough times you're just trying to like figure out what you're doing for the next 4 hours till you get your vitals checked, or your blood pressure checked, and they're waking you up regardless. They don't give a fuck if you're tired or whatever, you know what I mean? Mind you, I had my own room for the first 2 weeks, and it was like almost like having an apartment, and like, yo, you can ask PEBZ, bro. You come visit, yo, like, bro, I had people, like, it was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to the hospital that I was at. I don't know if I'm gonna, you know, like really, but you already know. And bro, like we were supposed to cut off people at 6. I had people there till like 11 p.m. We watched the dunk contest. I got my haircut in there. It was pretty different. I'd say that. But what I would like to say is I brought a energy to the floor that they've never seen or I think they kind of needed, just so they could kind of be like, oh well. You know, they're like, people just don't come here because honestly, like the rumor was like my floor was like the cemetery. Like people just went there to just kind of wither. You know, it was your last kind of step before you actually went home and just kind of just died. You know, pause. Just because, yeah, no, literally, like.
What is that? Isn't that palliative care?
So I don't even know, bro. Like but it was just crazy. There'd be parts of the night where I'm like you couldn't really sleep just because you just knew everybody was up, not like fucking like total zombie eat your face off, but like literally up just because they just weren't sleeping, medication keeping them up, you know. But I will say this is, I got brought into a room with a roommate, and this was because they quote unquote said that I was getting discharged, and I guess that's like I said before, I was like by myself. I was dolo, but then they brought me into another room with a guy in there, and I'm not gonna say his name just out of respect, but his initials were BC.
Yo, you can't say what that is.
Maybe I'm gonna decipher it. I don't know, but anyways, so this guy I get brought into the room, right? The doctor immediately pulls me to the side. They're like, listen. The past 3 or 4 people he's been in there, he's like shit the bed. He's pissed that he fucking just rang the alarm. Like he pissed these people off so that way he can have his own room because he really wants his own room.
Oh.
So this guy, but he's declared with dementia, right? And they're asking me if my comfortability levels with people with dementia. And I tell them straight up, I'm like, listen, I don't mind. You know, like I've dealt with people with dementia. It's unfortunate, but yeah, like they're still human, you know? And they're like, okay, well, we're moving you in with this guy with dementia, so good luck, you know? So I'm like, all right, whatever. I go in there. Mind you, like, the nurses and everything, they already think like I'm some like crazy guy. Like when they have the shot called Hepburn shots, and it's basically a blood thinner. and it's just so your blood doesn't clot. It burns to the average person. I mean, supposedly, when they give it to me, I don't feel like, for whatever reason, I don't feel it. I don't know if I'm a super masochist or whatever, but I just don't feel the pain, more or less, you know. So they would always like bet. They'd be like, "Oh my God, this one's gonna burn. I know. It's after dinner. Watch. It's the one after dinner. Listen, Mary Lou, okay? Go tell Maritas and give him the one for the after dinner, okay?" And then you have JB, the one who's also giving, and PJ, they're also there too, huh? And they're giving shots. They're giving the Hepburn shot, huh? And they're all laughing because literally my room was next to the break room, so I would just hear all the chismis, you know, like, oh my God, this, like, and it'd be like just rumorville, right?
Chismis is gossip, by the
Yeah,
way.
chismis is gossip. My God, always watching the shows, and is she dating him or what? Oh my God, is he going to church? Is he still there? Is he still there? You know. Oh, by the way, the head nurse, her call word used to be hello, hello. Do you not see him? Oh my God, hello. You know, and you could hear from a mile away, right? So she's telling me, okay, you're moving in with this roommate here, okay? He does poo poo in the bed, okay? All right, just letting you know that. I'm like, okay, whatever, Tita, it's fine, you know. So I move in first night. This guy's fucking wailing. I could hear, you know, just he's going in his bed, right? And I'm like, oh wow, it's pretty rank, you know. But I'm also like, you're not gonna fucking out alpha me. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if my ailment isn't worse than your ailment. Mind you, imagine in the hospital, I got worried about my competitive nature, by the way, because I'm just like, I'm even in a hospital. I'm like, you're not gonna fucking fuck this guy. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you're not gonna fucking shit the bed and then expect me to be mad. No, I'm gonna lay here and be disgusted in this fucking smell and be like, oh fuck this. Because I'm not gonna shit the bed to match you. No, because I have too much pride. You know what I mean? Like that part of me is still there. You know, although I am fucking butt ass naked in a fucking in a gurney that whatever. Anyways, nurses come in. They're like, "Do you want to be moved?" The last people have been asked to move. You know, like, and we could see about it. And I'm like, "What? You're just gonna move me into another room with another possible, I don't know, discrepancy that I'm gonna possibly have? Just because if you're not by yourself, there really is just gonna be another thing that you're gonna have to deal with. You know, and it's just about what you want to deal with. You know." So I'm in there. I'm like, all right. I'm like, fuck. Like, let's just let this fucking ride. You're gonna thing. And so I literally put the mask on, and I'm like, I put a surgical mask, like whatever the one everybody else has, but I just put it on to sleep, and I put it on, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I just waited till like 7 a.m. for dialysis. The next day, I'm like, fuck this guy. What is he gonna try this week, or what is he gonna try tonight? I fucking pass out from exhaustion. I wake up and he's sitting at the end of my bed and he's looking at me, and he's just fucking, and like, and it's not like a fearful, like, so I fucking get up from my bed and I'm like face to face with him. I'm like, what's up? What's cracking, cuz? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, bro, like we're face to face now, bro. Like, you're not, bro. You got dementia. Cool. I got fucking crazy. That's what I got. I'm crazy. You got declared with dementia. Well, guess what? I'm fucking nuts. Meanwhile, he's looking at me like, holy fuck, I'm the one with dementia here. This guy might be fucking more kooky than me, though. Because we're like, I'm in his fucking face. Like, I'm like, I'm not gonna punch you, but I will fucking grill the shit out of you, bro. What the fuck, bro? What do you want? What do you want to do? And he's just fucking looking at me all kooky eyed, and I'm like, all right, cool. We'll just fucking have a little staring contest or whatever. Next day, he's passed out. He's tired. I'm like, okay, you're not going to outmill me, So the next couple days, I just like talk to him because I know he's not going to talk back, but I feel like I know that there's somebody in there. The more and more I look him in the eyes, I'm like, oh, there's somebody in there. And I feel like he's just also reaching out, because I don't know, maybe just people haven't been treating him right? Like, and his caretaker who's there, happens to be Trinidadian.
Yo, I was about to bring that up. Speaking of crazy,
Speaking of
the
crazy,
girl knew Uncle Crazy, dog.
and she knew Uncle Crazy. Holy crazy! Shout out Uncle Crazy, Uncle Edwin. Anyways, she's like, okay, Mr. BC, you know, like, he's, I've been working with him for the past 10 years. You know, he doesn't respond to nobody. He's kind of had a thing after his condition. You know, mind you, I'm not really getting into too much of the details with her just yet, but she's giving me like what I'm just telling you now. Like, she's like, oh, you know, I've worked with him. I'm from New York. All this stuff. Mind you, we're in Toronto now, but like, so all this stuff is like not adding up, but adding up. Like, you're from New York, but you work in Toronto. Okay, I don't know. You know, it's just something's crazy. But anyways, fast forward all the way to the point where they tell me I'm about to get discharged. So I'm like, oh shit. Mind you, I'm in there like a month now. So like, I feel like this is a bid. I'm with I'm with my cellie. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, like, I'm like, yo, man, I'm about to leave, bro. I'm about to hop out. You know, and mind you, that night, like, we haven't spoken words, but like, obviously, like, there's been facial expression, whatever. Like, so that night I hear him like around 1:00 in the morning. I hear like crying, you know. Mind you, there's nothing, no facial, nothing out of this guy for like 8 years. They said he hasn't even done any type of expression, like, aside from like just fucking maybe like stick his tongue out at somebody, you know. And he starts crying like 1 a.m. in the morning. Boom. I look over, go over to his bed. I'm like, is everything okay, Mr. BC? He's like, starts crying. Bro, I start bawling for whatever reason. I don't know why. The energy was so strong. I started crying myself. We're crying our eyes out till 5 in the morning. We're fucking like snotty nose the whole 9, you know? We're like, I'm like, dude, fucking stop, man. I'm like, dude, stop, man. And like, you know, it's getting like comedic because like, I'm like, fuck, like, and I can tell he's like fucking going, I'm going, he's like dementia tears, you know, I'm fucking kidney tears here, you know, like, and we're battling each other, and then sure enough, they come to take me for dialysis, and this is like 6, 7 in the morning. And it's like a fucking movie, man. Like, we're both like reaching out like Titanic hands, like no, like Jack, you know, like, it's cold, you know, like, mind you, they're putting me in the fucking gurney, the stretcher, they're dragging me down, and the caretaker comes up, she's like, listen, he's never gonna forget you. I've never seen him do this, da 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 da. 8 years I've been working with him. I've never seen him show any type of.
He's been in there for 8 years?
No. She's worked with him for 8 years, and she has never seen expression from this man, except for that.
Wow.
And she's like, so you have a thing going here. So I'm like, okay. Well, sure. She's like, well, you should know that BC, you know, like, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm like, yeah, I know who he is. Mind you, I'm playing like I know who the fuck he is, like, really. And I'm just like, okay, I really wish I could say the name, but I don't know. Legally, no, yeah, legally, I don't think I don't know. Anyways,
I think you can say like who he is.
well, okay, so yeah, so I look up, I'm literally looking him up on the gurney to my dialysis thing, and I look up BC, his full name, everything, and he's one of 11 survivors from 9/11. From one of the build, like, I think it's the second build, or I might be butchering this whole thing. I'm not gonna lie, but let's just say he's a survivor from 9/11. He's a Canadian billionaire. What? But he has dementia. So imagine having all the money in the world, fucking no problems. Like, you're in the will, your family's good, but obviously you're still alive. So, but yeah, but you have dementia, bro. Like, they're not even gonna let you spend it. Like, you know what I mean? So like, that's like the fucking. So the lesson I learned from him was like just like the inner prisons of things, like, where, like, yo, like, even if I get good or get better with the kidney thing, like, I don't know, like, it was just like a lot of moral compassing. You know what I mean? Like,
nah, health's number one, man.
Yeah, bro.
Right, and then time spent with family, and then money. So money's like 4, but we're all out here to fucking get money.
Yeah,
first.
The rat race
Here.
In North America.
Here,
Yeah,
in North America, yeah.
And that's causes sometimes our health to deplete. And then people realize, oh shit, okay, health first now. But you know,
Usually when it's too late.
Yeah, no, it is too late. Or yeah,
Yeah.
it is too late. You know, like because
Mm.
people will wait that long, you
Mm.
know, and then hopefully it's usually right before, you know, and then you got those good people around you that are like, okay, no, this is what we're navigating towards here.
At least, you know, if you're in like, for example, like your situation, you pretty much got like a new lease on life.
Yes, yes, yes.
No.
Right. So now it's up to the person, whoever that happens to, for them to
Make that
make
change.
those changes and really take it serious to say, like, you know, you got closer to death than most people ever do. And this was something you were fine a day ago. Right?
No, and that's the scariest
Like
part.
a day before that, you were perfectly fine. And then the next day was like a full switch.
Bro, I literally had like my life change in like hours just because, yeah, when they put me on the table, they put the port, mind you, like I got put this like chest port here. And essentially this is what dialysis is. It takes my dirty blood and it puts it in a machine, and then it cleans my blood and puts it back. I do this for 3 days a week, 4 hours a day, 4 to 5 hours a day, and it's anywhere between 2.7 to 3.5 liters swapped. And it's all depending on your weight. So like anywhere between 88 keys to like 90 keys. You know what I'm saying? That's usually like 2.7 to 3.5 liters swapped out. And that's for the hemoglobin dialysis. I'm gonna put y'all in game. So this is the hemoglobin dialysis, which is the one in the chest port here that I just showed y'all here. And then there's another one, the PD. That's the Pedialyte dialysis. Like that's the one which, you know, normally a catheter is installed in the stomach. Now, honestly, every story I've ever heard from everybody that's gotten this is like they were like, "Oh, yeah, it was okay after my 4th infection or my this and that." Like, and I'm not trying to discourage nobody from doing nothing. To each his own, you know, because I'm not telling you to get the chest one, the hemoglobin or the hemodialysis or the PD is this one's better than this. I'm not telling you which one. It's a matter of preference. Literally, it's a person to person case, and that's what I'm learning about this whole thing is everybody is different, you know. But they always try to tell you that you should do the home dialysis, which is more or less the PD, and they try to tell you this, and then mind you, you have to be hooked up to the machine for 8 to 9 hours. Right.
Jesus.
So it's either you go to dialysis, which is 2 to 3 days a week, 4 hours a day, or you do it at your comfort of your own home, which is 8 to 9 hours a day. And the difference is this is dealing with blood. Take my dirty blood, swap it in the machine, and then it returns a clean blood. Or I have a thing hooked up to my stomach, and it does 8 to 9 hours of swapping liquid, not blood. So it'll take like the dirty liquids or the toxins that are in my body, switch it out, and then replace it with cleaner liquid. Now, mind you, they tell you if you're doing it at your house, if you have a 2-bedroom apartment, you might need a 3-bedroom apartment now because of all the equipment. In Canada, you receive it all for free, or quote unquote free. You know what I mean? And they'll bring you the machine, they'll bring you everything. Mind you, if you're renting, you need to check with your landlord if you can do a certain thing because it has something to do with the plumbing or the water gauge and things of that nature. It's if you're doing it at your house. Now there's a third one called the fistula, which would be the one out of the arm, and that one's probably the best one just because you could swim, you could shower easier, you could do a bunch of stuff that just it would alleviate you having to cover this. Like this, I can't get wet. I can't get this wet at all. I have to literally cover it every time I want to quote unquote shower. So I'm not gonna lie, the first initial encounters I've had with cleaning my body after getting this port in were little fucking whore baths, you know, like, you know, little fucking Niagara nights. You know what I mean? Little casino checks, you know? I'd have the little fucking sweet spots showers. That's what they call it, you know, little sweet spot showers. Just because I couldn't get it wet. And then after a while, I figured out how to cover it, waterproof it. Boom, I'm in there now. But yeah, I will say that it's a whole learning process because like they're gonna try to tell me this is better than the other when in reality, like to be honest, like it's literally a matter of preference. Like, because some people are like, oh, I've been on dialysis 10 plus, 16 plus years. And then, mind you, by the way, if you've been on dialysis that many years, I don't think anybody's rooting for you. Straight up. Like the average person on a quote unquote transplant waits 1 to 5 years. After that, there's really no fucking hope. That's all I'm really
It's facts.
hearing. And I'm just
Yeah.
I'm cutting the fucking fat here. You know, like, because people are like, you know, just tell me how it is, doc. You know what I mean? And straight up, like, they won't tell you how it is, but for my own assessment from people who I've met, I've called, I've done, you know, like I'm trying to see if I could reverse this stuff without even having a transplant, which I've heard stories people have. They've either moved to countries where there's less
Yes.
processed food,
100%.
or they literally just get fucking down and disciplined. You know what I mean? And that's the name of the game, really. It's discipline. You know, we've been trained and programmed so long to eat shit and all this other stuff. Never known a diet without salt. Now it's really weird. I could taste things different. You know what I mean? Like when I smoke weed, it's fucking like
Potent.
It's so potent.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I don't have
yeah.
smoker's tongue.
Yeah,
I don't have
man.
that. You know what I mean? Like, you ever notice? Like, I used to work in a restaurant, and certain cooks, you'd be like, oh, watch this guy's salt. Oh my God. Oh, we're swimming Himalayan. Oh, here we go. You know what I mean? Like, oh fuck, this guy got the Maury's or what? Fuck. You know, kosher salt. But you'd know who had the heavier hand because, oh no, okay, so yeah, he smokes bellies, or he's, you know what I mean? Like certain mans, their coating on the paws, on the tongue is like, it's smoker's tongue like a motherfucker. So I'm removing the salt. Mind you, the whole new, it's called Reno friendly, kidney friendly diet. No salt, so no sodium, less phosphorus, and less sodium, phosphorus, and potassium. So there's things that I've grown to love and been a part of my whole entire life, I've had to remove, and it's fucking crazy. Like, for instance, like, I'm from Florida. We drink fucking orange juice, freshly squeezed, please. You know what I mean? Now, can't have that too tough.
What?
Yeah, I can maybe have a glass in a week.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because it's just so much potassium. I can't have bananas. Crazy. I love banana. Well, I stopped eating banana once I figured out, like, a lot of it isn't real banana, you know? And you know, there's like fucking over 70 different bananas. Like, it's,
No way.
Yo,
Bro.
like I think 80,000 or
There's
like
like
10,000, something.
But you gotta
in
go
the
to, like,
thousands. Yeah, different
you
places
know,
in
like
the
Yod
world.
or whatever the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And you'll bro, you
It's
go to Blue
nuts.
Mountain in Yod, you'll get like 90 of those.
Different bananas?
Easy,
Different, yo, I'm
easy,
telling
yeah.
you, there's like thousands and thousands. We could
Different
look it up
banana,
right
and you
up.
could differentiate.
So what's the ones we're getting?
We're not
The one that's grown
whatever
in
grows in
fucking
the
that greenhouse.
Yeah, in the factory things.
No,
Because
we
they don't
still
have the
get.
seedlets.
Yeah,
Oh.
so
know?
go to the Chinese market. You'll still get those ones. I
Yeah,
get
you can
mine
go,
from
like, Spadina,
Thailand,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, those are the best for produce,
Yeah.
right? The turnovers, like how much could you really? You'll know if it's genetically modified if that fruit has no seeds. You know, it's high in sugars. It's not naturally grown. It's just like even like crossbreeding.
When you cut the banana, it should have, or yellow fruit.
yellow fruit.
Yellow food.
You see like
see the-
5,
yeah,
6 seeds,
5,
like
6
the
seedlets,
dots
yeah.
where it was. So at least you know it's there.
And then the other ones, like, you crack it open, and you're like, holy fuck, this looks like a commercial.
Yeah.
You know? I like mine dirty brown. Like, it's still like, you know, it
Yeah.
looks like it maybe got thrown at you. You know, like, you're like, oh, yeah, let me. Okay, yeah. That's it right there.
Yo, going back to the different types of dialysis, why do you think they're pushing the one at home?
I think they're pushing the one at home because when the dietitian sat down with me, they're always suggesting 3 meals. And I'm like, okay, let me just get on your little circus board. Just because, like, coming in the hospital, they gave me 3 meals.
Yeah.
You know, mind you, they gave me shit that I wouldn't normally even eat.
Yeah.
Like I don't deal with dairy like that. You know what I'm saying? But they're like, Jonathan, you have to have your dairy because how you're gonna poo-poo. you know? And I'm like, listen, if I got to shit, I'll fucking take a fucking dumper. You know what I mean? Like, I'll make it happen. It's more mental with me. I've done grown into the whole mental shit thing now. Like, I don't want to shit. I'll tell myself, don't take a fucking dookie here. You know
Your
what I
body
mean?
knows too if you're in a different environment. If you're on a road trip, you ever notice, like, you could hold your stuff in.
And you a guy, true
Fashion.
story, I would go on road. I'm not going to say his name, but we'd go on road with certain professional celebrity artists. And he was more of a, you know, security guard or whatever. And bro, this guy wouldn't shit for like 2 weeks, bro.
What?
'Cause he could tell, like it's like Franco was saying, like, you know, when you go on road, you could tell your body, you know, like, or if you know that movie, American Pie or Shit Break. They used to call him Shit Break. Like, why do they call him Shit Break? Because you can't shit. He can only shit at his house. His body knows to only shit. You know, that's why, like, when you need to take a fucking dumper and you're getting closer to the crib, you almost shit in the car. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
you're
it's
walking, you're like,
mental.
oh my god, I gotta go.
It's mental.
It's the mental fucking.
It's all mental.
Yeah,
you're
bro.
right.
You know that little
you
Dicky
could hold
show?
it.
Dave?
Oh my god, that's
I
hilarious.
just seen a little clip of it, and the bus driver's like, "No shitting on the bus."
Yeah,
they're on tour. They're on tour, man.
Yeah,
They're
on
not allowed
tour.
to shit on the bus.
No, that's the genuine rule. You do not shit on the tour bus, and if you do shit on the tour bus, you gotta fucking get off. Straight up, you're not on the next two dates. You gotta fucking take a U-Haul car.
Meet me at the
truck
next
right
city.
behind, yeah, you gotta get in a U-Haul van and drive behind, bro. You took a dumper. That shit's detrimental, man. Trust me, bro. You can take a shit. They pull over on the side of the road before you take a shit in the bus. That shit is crazy. Because the piss don't matter, you know. Obviously, that's just because they just drain it, you know. But yeah, man, no. Unless you're in some like high tech, you know, like unless you're into some like heavy rider, you know, like, you know, what these guys have. Like, 'cause some people, some guys have tour buses. You could shit on the bus. It don't matter, dog. That shit is you're fine. But I wouldn't suggest it. That's what I wouldn't do. But yeah, no, I think like they're trying to tell you 3 meals a day, 3 meals a day. So they're giving me 3 meals a day, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get as soon as I get to 200 pounds, I'm gonna ask the doctor, like, I'm at 200 pounds. Am I really supposed to eat 3 meals a day? You know, like, you're telling me I can't exercise. They're telling me this. You know, oh, your normal exercise? No, you can't. No, you need to figure out how to burn all these calories walking. Yeah, fuck off. Like, how am I supposed to? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just ate roast beef from and mind you, I don't eat roast beef like that. I don't eat, you know what I mean? I don't even eat meat like that. But they're trying to tell me, oh, but you needed to rebuild. You needed to rebuild. Okay, I'm gonna listen to you only because I'm gonna try it out. You know, and although I already have a general assessment of me already kind of knowing, like when I would mention, oh yeah, I take sea moss, moringa seed powder, guanara, you know, like I'm just naming all the shit that I take naturally, and they're like, ooh, you know, ooh, fuck, I'm like watching their blood boil almost, and I'm like, oh, you about to pass out, lady? Okay, well, let me tell you another one I fucking take. How about this? You know, like that fucking ashmechala stuff I take too, you know? And I don't even know how to pronounce ashwilla. I don't even know.
Ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha, yeah. I take that. I told her that too. I said, I take ashwagandha, you know, whatever the fuck. And she's like, oh, God.
So what did they say about it?
They're like, I wouldn't do that.
Why?
Like,
Why?
And they like that, like with that same tonality, like, ooh, I wouldn't, ooh, Jonathan, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
trust me, man, it happened to me as well, man, sorry to cut you off, but when I speak about certain natural substance, they really steer away from it. You know, they're like, oh, but those are not regulated, those are not FDA approved. I'm like, okay, it's been around for thousands and thousands of years over the pharmaceutical thing. Well, whatever. Let's not get into
but that's the thing. None of that stuff creates cancer.
It it's a bandage. You know, it might numb something to make you feel it's better, but the problem's still there. And then it's just something else is compensating for it.
No, that's what I mean. Like, so I'm mentioning all the stuff that doesn't create naturally a cancer for you, or something in an ailment, right? But the stuff that they're gonna give me will over time create an addiction. Create this. Like, for instance, they're giving me like painkillers, right? I see which one it is. I'm like, it's like fucking the Bing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like seeing which one I don't like. You know, because I'm like trying to, because at first they're not telling me what it is, like isobuprofen or fucking benzazine, you know, all these other like, fucking names. You think I don't know? My mother's an RN. You know, my mother's been telling me about these fucking drugs from time. She's like, oh, that one's gonna get, because like, mind you, I'll have them tell them to me, and then like I'll try to remember it, and then just be like, yo, mom, what is benzalonidine, but whatever the fuck. And she's like, oh, that one's gonna make you fuck. That's the tae. You're gonna make it go poo poo. That's the one that makes you go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I tell her this one, she's like, oh no, that's sleeping pill. And I'm like, okay, I don't want that one. You know? So then I'll just be like, oh, so by the way, I don't want this. I don't fucking methadone. You know, you know what I'm saying? I don't want this fucking, I don't need this one right here. And they're like, oh, okay, well, you can opt not to take it. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I don't want that one. I don't want this, you know, like, and then by law, I guess the doctor, like, but they're not telling you that you have that option.
Yeah.
They're just like, they're speaking to you with a tone that it almost seems as if like,
It's like the boredom.
yeah, or it's like you kind of have to take this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they pressure you, man.
You have an ultimatum here. You
Yeah.
either take this or you're out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm fine with weed.
You want to take this? Is grabbing this though. That's why I didn't pass it.
Yo,
Yeah, I'll take a.
even my kids, right? My kids are not vaxxed from their regular child vaccination, so they'll get pumped by maybe I don't know, 20 things before the age of 10, you know, and they were pushing it. They were saying, oh, you know, they won't be able to go to school. They're not able to do this. I'm like, all right, what school are you talking about? You're assuming my kid goes to a regular school. There's a lot of different alternatives, which forced me to seek those things when I had children. It's because the regular way is outdated, man. The stuff they're teaching at schools is I think a lot of it's outdated, or just the way they're doing it. So shout out to the teachers doing their thing, man. Like I have a lot of friends that are teachers, and they're doing their thing, and it's just like 80% of them are doing, maybe 90% of them are doing what they're supposed to do. It's just the system that's controlling their growth and their impact on the children.
Well, fuck, I can't speak on. I don't have children myself, but I will say that I just know that it's like pay to play. You know.
Yeah.
I know. You know, I can't speak on the curriculum or the schooling here, but in America, where I was going, it's either you're in a public school and you gotta almost fend for yourself.
Yeah,
you know,
that's how it is here.
I shouldn't really laugh about that, but that's pretty much how it is. Or you pay to play. You're in some private school that's gonna already have you at an advantage where like you could sneeze on a fucking D1 scholarship and you're already kind of in. You know what I mean? Just because you're paying an X amount. Like fuck, I don't know. My parents, by the grace of God, I mean they worked like my mother was an RN. My father worked like 3 jobs just to send me. My school tuition was like $20,000, and this is like just
that's cheap.
This is just high school.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I could literally just be like, "Oh, I go to this high school," and they'll be like, "Sure, we're taking you. No matter, I don't give a fuck if you're the worst student in the world just because you went to this high school." Yeah, you're going. So it's almost like as long as you can graduate
in the States. Like when it comes to schooling, what school you go to, it's.
I mean, true say, you know, I probably would have went to Lieberman, you know. If
I don't know what school that is, bro.
No, straight up, I don't know what school is either. No. But no, I will say that, you know, they were heavily trying to influence me on like doing so many things, and they still are, and they're just like. You know, like I said, like 3 meals a day. I'm like, nah. Like, and I'm not, because mind you, I was intermittent fasting. I will say this prior to me being in the hospital. I'm not saying that's what brought me there. But I think like if I was to intermittent fast now with this proper diet,
it will work.
It would be advantageous.
Yes.
You know?
Bro, like the minute I started researching about diet and what we eat actually affects half of the diseases that we could prevent. No, you're North America, like yo, that cancer is the North American thing, man, or the diet. A lot of processed things, right? So I was saying, I went to school for culinary. I was in an industry for like 15 plus years, and I went to a lot of what is it, like conventions or presentations, right? So in Ontario, the stuff that we catch, I guess in BC, Nova Scotia, unless they're selling it locally, we're not eating that until like a month later. They send that stuff to China to get deboned, deskinned, descaled. They ship it back to Ontario and then they sell it to us frozen. So what are we really eating? So a a lot of people passed away. My two grandmas from cancer, my grandfather from cancer, my uncle from cancer. So I was like, yo, people are like, oh, it's hereditary. I beg to differ, because I can almost guarantee I won't get that. Maybe lung cancer because I smoke. But other than that, the food that I eat is so less processed that you see it a lot. If you look at pictures like maybe 6 years ago, I look older than I do now. People still think I'm in my 20s. That's like unheard of. You know what I mean? So shout out to you for making this change, man.
Why shit? Like
It's huge, bro.
I'm just glad that
I could tell. You could tell when people genuinely change. My mom had cancer. She has no kidney right now. She survived it, right? But she's not making that big change in her diet. So she had lymph node cancer, and then she just started. She's a customer to the fucking system. And here I am. But maybe that shit had to happen for me to learn. And now my kids won't have to deal with that. And so on
you
and
never
so
know,
forth,
man.
right?
My father having a stroke, I thought would have taught me a lot. But mind you, I was working out, and then I'd come home, and I'd fucking order chicken parm with a side of fucking al dente spaghetti. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that would be my but like I would eat that every other day. Like and now I can't even have tomato sauce. I can't have marinara. Well, they say cut four tomatoes, and that's like a good serving.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's too much potassium. Or I gotta literally go buy a low sodium. So I go to this place called Organic Garage.
Yeah, that
Alright.
place is all right. It's good.
Yeah,
They have
it's
a
not
lot of
bad.
nice stuff
They
there.
got a good select.
Yeah.
And you can get fucking
It's like $10 a pineapple, but it's all right.
yeah.
So
And
one body, right? We have one body.
And you
know?
could also buy a couple different types of water.
Yeah.
Alkalinity leveled water.
Box water.
Yeah. And they have like the alkalinity water, and then they also have detergents. You could buy like 90 different detergents. It's very organic.
Yeah.
So they got this thing in there. Fuck, what was it? How did we get into that? We were talking about a product. What were we talking about? And I just said, "Oh, I get that at organic thing."
See Mas or what? Oh,
No.
ashwagandha.
No, it wasn't ashwagandha. It wasn't ashmalala. No, it was we were just talking about something, and I said, "Oh, I get that at organic." Yeah, this weed's pretty good. Anyways, Organic Garage. You should go and see what you can get there, cuz sorry. The spaghetti sauce.
Yes.
Oh.
Low sodium.
Yeah.
By the way, they got an amazing one there. I forgot what it's called, but I think it's called like Garden something spaghetti. But and it's the biggest sign in the world. It says no sodium, low sodium, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then there's another one. It's called Rouse, RAO. Amazing, marinara sauce. Like if you're looking for just renal friendly stuff like that. Yeah, man. I've been having to because now it's all dark greens, like kale, spinach, but not cooked. I can't eat cooked spinach. There's something happens to the anatomy of the food after
Certain temperature.
yeah, like mashed potatoes, sweet yam. It has to be double boiled in order for me to have it. just to cut down the potassium
And maybe
No
the
way.
starch.
and the starchy.
Because the starch is the stuff that essentially was gonna clog you up. You know, anytime you eat a piece of bread or anything, anytime you feel stuffy, that's the stuff that's.
What's fucked is they gave me mashed potatoes while I was in the hospital.
And dairy.
Remember, you
bro.
were there when my
Yeah,
food
yeah,
came,
yeah.
and I was like, "Yo, just look at what they're fucking giving
No,
me
but
here."
and that's the thing, right? In the hospital, they don't have proper nutritionists, and unfortunately, like I thought about that. Imagine being. Why isn't Organic Garage in the hospitals? Why isn't Farm Boy or Whole Foods have their stuff in hospitals? Because you already know, man. Right?
I will
They're
say
giving you
this.
Jello. Like we're grown men. Why are you giving us Jello?
I will say this: when
Like,
they would
and
give
it's
me,
not even
when they would give
fresh,
me
like-
carrots, holy fuck, bro! I thought they would. I was like, it was like
Carrots.
like comedic how much they would give me.
Yeah,
Like it'd be
bro.
like, brrr, like I'm like, damn. I'm like, no, man, like that's crazy right there. I'm like, I told them like, I'm shitting. You don't need to give me any more of this. Oh, I'm fucking going. Like, don't worry, because that's what they had. You know, they're worried. The first like week you're in there, you're not. But mind you, okay. So for anybody in there that want to know about kidney things, first week you're in there, you're not shitting and pissing. You're getting in your head. You're worried too. Like in my head, I'm like, oh my god, did I just fucking shit in my body? Did I, you know what I mean? Or did I pee in my body? Like, oh fuck, like what's going on? But then, we're gonna, I don't care. They put a fucking catheter in me, right? For those that don't know what a catheter is, it's this like 20-foot. If I don't even know, it's like it's the worst thing I've ever had done to me. Mind you, I'm literally in the ER, like, and they're like, do we have consent to insert this? And I'm like, insert what? And they're like, because in my head, there's only a couple places in my body that it's really exit only. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And mind you, to each his own. Whatever your lifestyle, I don't give a fuck what you do or what you do. Just don't fuck with me, all right? You fuck with me, and that's it. I'll kill you. But anyways, they're telling me, they're like, oh well, we have to insert this through the urethra of your penile. Like, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm sorry, what did you say? And they're like, yeah, so there's no real anesthetic for this, and there's no real way about warning you about this, but this thing, and they're like, they put like this, like a fuck, bro, this thing looked like the track lighting in here. Bro, I'm telling you, they're just like, pause. Anyways, I'm literally, I felt a lot of pain in my life. That was probably the worst I've ever felt. Like that I could recall, Normally you get into a scrap, whatever, your adrenaline's pumping. So there's probably things that hurt worse. But like, I had no warning for those types of things. Those things just kind of happen, you kind of just got to survive. But I'm literally laying in bed and they're like, Mr. Sabarillo, we're here. We have to insert this. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you said insert, but I'm, you know what I mean? In my head, and like I said, in my head, there's only a couple places on my body that I know that I know are exit only. I know for a fact. I know 1000% it's exit only. Because I'm a bodman, all right? But then another thing is like, you're like, fuck, like, we gotta fucking insert. The word insert isn't even in my the only insert thing I remember was putting a fucking quarter in a fucking payphone because it said insert right there. Or I go to Rec Room and they don't even have the tokens no more for the game things. But those are the only times I see insert. When they're telling me insert. Fuck. It's like fuck, all right, fine. Boom. It's in already. And I'm like, this is the worst feeling in the world. She's like, oh, I could tape your fucking hood to your thigh, Like, I'm like, oh, fuck. The nurse is like, I'll just tape it to your thigh. And I'm like, fuck, it doesn't matter what you do, lady. You know what I mean? Like, you're not taping my wang to my thigh and it's going to feel better. You know what I mean? The whole fucking thing's there. It's like 90 feet. Like, I feel crazy right now. Because I'm in mid-conversation, and I'm like, oh, I'm peeing. I'm for sure peeing right now. We're talking, like right now we could be talking and I'm fucking going. Like, it'd be like Montreal trip, boys. Let's all hook the catheter up so you don't have to fucking stop. Aside from charging the Tesla, that's pretty much it. You know. But grown men just talking like I'm talking to like fucking my neighbor, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, oh fuck, just taking a fucking just going right now, you know. Because you're really only peeing, right? So like without getting too fucking vulgar, which we already have, it's already been bad. But anyways, so you're that's the way you could excrete urine, and it's in it's in a bag. Oh fuck! But you're not shitting too tough, so whatever. Because you're just not eating like that, or your body's actually whatever it's actually taking in is like breaking down because it's just in the need of something. You know what I mean? Because your body's just fucked. And then obviously the medicine and all that jives. Plus, and then when I was in there, they were just acclimating me to like soft to solid type things. So at first it was like rice puddings and like he said, like jellos. Like, why am I not eat? You know what I mean? It's like it's hard for me to use a straw, let alone eat jello, type thing. So it was kind of weird at first. And then your apple juices and stuff. Remember, oh fuck, bro. PEBZ came to visit, bro. I had the fucking joint stock. I had animal cookies, dog. I was like commissary in there, dog. Like the nurses were like, "No, you can't have that," and I'm like, "Yeah, but what happens after 8?" Because I'd get to the nurses and I'd sweet talk them. I was like, "It's 8 o'clock. I need snacks. I'm hungry," And I used a certain tonality that you use around titas, and it just like kills them. It gives them like a certain sonic, and then they're like, "Oh, anak, oh my god, I have to give him cookies. Do you have cookies? I have cookies for you." And they'll give me cookies, and then they'll give me the 2% skim milk, and then be like, "Okay, here, anak, here, take this. Don't tell the doc, okay?" Mind you, they really can't because like I have to watch my liquid intake, and obviously like I just can't eat shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but they're giving me fucking badass cookies. Like I'm like, oh fuck. Of course it's the titas, like, and then I would get gifts. Like people were bringing trays of lasagna. Fucking shout out to my boy Eddie. Eddie fucking brought like pineapples, oranges. Faraz brought apples. Like I literally had a Longo's produce in there. Like people were like, oh fuck, what, you can't have all this? And then I'd be like, no, I can't. And then mind you, I can't even like give it to nobody because there's a no sharing clause because of the whole COVID thing. But then I'm not gonna say, but certain titas would be in there and they'd be like, "Oh my god, I have to throw this out." Wink, wink. Mind you, I'm sponsoring Marisol's. That's Marisol's dessert platter. My god, huh? Everybody is.
Oh fuck.
Yo, bro. No, literally, they'd bring me like, and I'm like, bro, I can't even eat this stuff, like, because like, I mean, because okay, so fruits, all the berries, raspberries, cranberries, strawberries, amazing. I can eat all that. Low potassium. Apples, pineapples, grapes. That's pretty much it. But then like, fuck, man, I love orange juice. Can't have it. I used to drink a liter of sugarcane a day. Oh fuck, forget it. No way. Out of here. I can't have any of that. Fucking, I don't even know, bro. But yeah, literally, my chicken parm connect is like, he's like fucking heat. He's like, this guy's not coming no more, bro.
Yeah.
He's no pun cheesed. At the fact that I don't order my chicken parm with the fucking al dente no more, bro. He's definitely like, oh, no, this guy's going elsewhere.
No, he doesn't know. He probably doesn't even know, right?
There's other chicken parm dealers in the city, like. And mind you, like now, I'll get done with dialysis and I'll just be like, let me go by the fucking hospital cafeteria and see what kind of shit they're pumping at people in there. And it's totally different. It's like they got some fucking banging stuff in there, man. Yeah, but I've snuck around and had some like, little fish dishes they had in there, I'm like, oh fuck. They're not messing around.
Yo, you eat to live,
Straight up.
Not live to eat.
That's the only proteins I can have are if I do eat meat, it's chicken or omega-3 like fatty fish, you know, like salmons and things like that. But even though I've seen like, I saw some like docs on salmon. I'm like,
it's everything's messed up
yeah,
nowadays.
I need that fucking, what is it? Something Hawkeye salmon, sockeye.
Yeah,
Like, they're
that's
all.
why I just cut all that shit out, man. You know what I mean? That's why I had to, because I watched too much shit, and it's just like, it makes so much sense. After this whole, you know, the whole COVID thing, Bill Gates owns the most land in fucking the States right now.
I thought it was. Oh, I thought it was Ted Turner. No. No, the real talk. I thought it was Ted.
Nah, but for farmland, like for vegetation,
No, because
there's a lot of control, man.
I remember. I think I was in Atlanta at a Ted Turner restaurant, and I ordered a bison burger. And I was like, oh my God, as a joke, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Where'd this come from? You know, I want to go like Frank Lucas, go to the source. Like, oh, you got to deal with Ted Turner. And I'm like, okay, no, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm like, that guy's got that guy got some coins on him. I don't know if I'm reaching that, but they're like telling me, no, he has the biggest bison farm in America. And then they said like he owned like all of fucking middle America, like Midwest.
Crazy, yeah.
But I'd assume he and Gates
probably fucking
are probably in bed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
literally.
Well, you never know nowadays.
Yo, when you're that big, they get bored, you know. They sell out.
Well, what time is it?
It's Bill Gates
1:30.
quietly buying up farmland.
Well, I just wanted to ask real quick, you know, and we could maybe close on this. How do you guys feel about this NBA season? I mean, are you guys even watching it, or?
Surprisingly, I am. Usually, I for the last.
Just because I know we always that NBA, well, not just NBA, but just basketball in general is something a subject matter that we've always touched on this podcast, and I just wanted to get your opinions on just like all the stuff that's been kind of going on, like Dylan Brooks, like are you guys fans of these? Like, I feel like he's a transplant guy that's just there to disrupt shit, you know, like being like, okay, oh fuck,
it's boring.
Golden State's not as spectacular anymore. Let's just give Dylan Brooks $5,000 an extra a week, you know, and just have him just be like some fucking
marketing shit.
Yeah, some marketing shit guy, because nobody really cared about Dylan Brooks prior to him just stirring shit up. And then you got like
from Saga.
Yeah, and then like LeBron's just like, oh fuck, I'll just eat everybody.
Yeah, I think
playoffs.
Lakers, bro. I'm saying Lakers right now. From now,
They're playing.
That's what I'm saying.
Billist? Lakers? Yeah, I don't know.
Lakers.
Man. I honestly think LeBron's gonna win till what's his name enters the league, till his
son.
Till his son?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, LeBron has how many now? 5? He's got 2 with the Heat, 1 with Cleveland.
4.
Oh, so 4. And then, okay, yeah, so 4. But the 4th one was the one in the bubble. Fuck, we don't know if that one counted.
I think it does. Because,
You think it does? Okay.
Bro, think about this, right? Think about how many players during the bubble just snapped out of nowhere. Everybody just started snapping. It was, honestly, to me, that was some of the best basketball that we'd seen in years. Because, like, out of nowhere, you see guys like Tyler Hero just popped out of nowhere and just started. They're always good, but, like, at that time, even, like, Jamal Murray started snapping. Donovan Mitchell started snapping. Like, LeBron was, like, everybody was just going off. It was a different vibe because all they could do was play basketball, and they're literally in their little small own city of playing.
True, I see it that way, but I think the less skillful players were playing under less pressure. There's fans is one of the biggest things, you know what I mean? However, it works both ways, the way you said it.
It just reminded me of like
a camp.
Like gym basketball, like pulling up to the YMCA or pulling up to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're to these just random ball runs and then everybody's just running it. right? Because you didn't see no fans. It was literally the players could hear each other the whole time talking to
And
each
talk
other,
shit
right?
the whole
Yeah,
time.
The whole time.
Yeah, man. And they can hear each other talk shit. That's
Yeah.
one thing too. Like,
Yeah.
it's another thing when you're in an arena and then some guy's just in your ear and you're just like, I don't give a fuck. I hear the crowd.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they're just like, Rose Sos. And mind you, some guys in the corner like, motherfucker ain't shit. Man. Lefty motherfucker. Guy can't play for shit. You know?
And then the thing about this, right? They're all living in close proximity to each other. Normally it's never like that, right? Every team is in a different city all the time. Not this time.
And they're all
Everybody's like literally in this little city they built for the NBA. And bro, these guys are all eating dinner together.
they all got the same side chicks.
You could've been- you know what I mean? Like,
That's the one thing that didn't stop, right?
Yeah.
The flights were going into that
Oh, easy.
during that
Easy.
bubble.
All the quote unquote basketball wives in that moment knew that they were a basketball wife. As soon as that happened, they were like, "Oh, this is what this is about." Okay, damn, you know,
Yeah.
and that's just
That's
really
just
what it
reality.
is. Yeah.
It's just reality. That's the life they chose, the path they chose.
No, honestly,
There's no
I mean,
judgment, man.
it's being a professional
Entertainer.
professional entertainer's spouse, the man or woman. You kind of know what you're getting into, like the possibilities. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
No, it's the highest possibility.
It can't be
like,
as taboo anymore to be like, oh, wait,
that doesn't happen to me.
my husband's a jazz trumpet player and he bangs chicks in St. Louis. Oh, that's not so far fetched. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a tour to St. Louis 4 times a year. 1,000% he's got a seat in St. Louis, type thing. But I don't know. I just think that
To each their own.
I think that a lot of people forgot about the Raptors championship.
Not us.
Not people in Toronto.
No,
no,
us.
but the average NBA watcher is always like, "Oh yeah, LA won," and then be like, "Yeah, but the one before LA was." They're like,
real
"Oh, that was
It was the real one.
that was Golden State." You're like, "No, motherfucker, that was the Kawhi year," and they're like, "Oh, that was the year he got hurt on San Antonio," and then no, Kawhi was a play. Oh yeah, he did 1 year in the Raptors. No one remember. And then the bum went to fucking LA and fucking crapped out. Because he fucking ended up getting PG on his team. I think any team that gets PG is just like, you got to watch out. There's certain things.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I don't know, fucking personified cancer. I mean, any team he goes to, it just ends up being fucking not as great, And I feel bad because I like PG's game. Like, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
I played with a lot of guys that play like PG or played like PG or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like just that using your length to your advantage ball, you know what I mean? Like putting that ball extra, like, like I used to hate guarding guys like that. I'm like, fuck, you play like PG, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or that was before I could identify it as PG's game, but like PG has a specific, like protecting. I hate, like, I loved that one-on-one, like, when somebody's coming like directly at me, and I could just be like, okay, I could kind of either predict the steal or I'll just push you to a certain side, or push you to the sidelines, but then when I hate when like PG, he'll start backing you down from half court. Like he'll turn to you from half court and just start, I'm like, oh, fuck this guy. Press. I'll call for the press. Let's do it. No, man. But yeah, I don't know. You think the Lakers? Lakers the whole way, huh? Okay. Well,
I have no opinion, man.
we'll have to
Just some good ball,
we'll have to double check. When's the end of the season?
I mean, not cure. No, June.
Okay, so
Probably
it's,
June.
it's May 9th now, and we're predicting the Lakers. Just because like, this is one of those things, like once they win, and we'll just say that they win. Now we'll just come back and be like, "Yo, we had a podcast on May 9th, and the Lakers won, and we should have bet 365." I wonder what the odds are on there.
Right now it's like 4-1 right now.
I knew he knew.
That's a good setup, John. That's a good one.
I knew he knew.
favorite.
It was like 13
Boston.
or 15 before. Like
It was even at 51, 71-1 mid-season.
Oh fuck. All right. Well, I might have to pick the Lakers. Real quick before we leave. Who did you have, Tank or Garcia? I don't give a shit.
Tank.
Tank.
You had Tank.
I had Tank.
Okay,
for
that's
real.
how I know these guys are all my brothers. And that wraps the HisBrother Podcast. We're coming back because we all picked Tank. None of us are picking that punk ass Garcia, weak ass left,
YouTuber.
YouTuber puncher.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for coming out. Oh, also,
Bless,
once
bless.
again, big congrats to our brother Norm, who will be returning. He's just out there in Edmonton right now doing his thing. Prison Dancer, go check it out.
Big up,
And
Norm.
if anybody else has anything to close with, feel free to do now.
Good out here.
Good to go?
Yeah,
Yes,
we're good,
sir.
man.
Everybody?
Just-
Okay, once again, thanks for listening,
Bless.
guys. And we're back. And hopefully, you'll come back and listen. We've got another one coming maybe another 2 weeks from now. And hopefully Norm will be here as well. If not, the same usual suspects, same time. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
Peace.